There are definitely massive spoilers for the final season of Game of Thrones in this video, so if you're trying to stay spoiler-free, please don't watch. Or do. Spoil yourself. So CCXP is going on, which includes the Game of Thrones experience, which also includes the showrunners, D&D, and 2 actors from the show, Maisie, who plays Arya, and John, who plays Sam, doing a panel. It was at this panel they finally gave us a teaser for the final season of Game of Thrones. Though I want to point out that even though it is a new Game of Thrones teaser, it doesn't have any new Season 8 footage. But that's okay, because I'm desperate for anything. So this video, I want to break down the teaser, even though there's not a lot to it. In a separate video, I will break down the entire Game of Thrones panel because a lot of interesting things were said. Okay, first things first, the teaser is called Game of Thrones Season 8 Official Tease Dragonstone. This title may be because it features Aegon the Conqueror's Westeros map table he had built, which resides on Dragonstone. Or this could be a clue that we're going to get 2 other teasers, one labeled Winterfell and another labeled King's Landing. According to past schedules for teasers for a season of Game of Thrones, everything is progressing right on that schedule, though I'd be fascinated to see what they do for teasers in regards to the other 2. So let's watch the clip, sped up of course, and then talk about it. First, obviously this could just be a teaser showing that the final battle of ice and fire is going to happen in the final season. But for someone that likes to wear a super shiny tinfoil hat, that's just not good enough. So let's look closer at the teaser and see if we can find hints for the final season of Game of Thrones. So we see in the teaser that ice comes down from the north, consuming the dragon and wolf statue, and fire comes up from the south, consuming the lion statue. At first glance you go, duh, the White Walkers are coming from the north, so ice is coming down, and those from the south are fighting it with fire. Not really a big deal. But I think there's quite a few interesting things in this teaser that could give us some clues to the final season, as batshit crazy as that sounds. Because I just don't think we're seeing a cutesy little teaser for the final season. I know I probably shouldn't be looking that closely at this, but I feel like the fire consuming the statue of the lion says 2 big things are possible. One, that maybe Jon and Dany are going to have to go to King's Landing before wiping out the White Walkers completely to slap around Cersei, maybe even take over to get more men to fight with them. Dany and Jon could take the 2 dragons after, I don't know, Bran tells Jon who he's the biological son of, and he goes and tames a dragon. Maybe the one named after his bio dad, and becomes a dragon rider. Imagine the crazy sex him and Dany would have after that. After he touched her dragon last season, she totally had those fuck me eyes. Seeing him bond with one of her children and become a dragon rider like her would probably be so fulfilling in a lot of ways. Especially knowing that she isn't alone anymore. Okay, sorry, let's go back to Jon and Dany burning the shit out of Cersei. Part of me hopes that's true, but then there's another part of me that fears Cersei is going to burn down King's Landing, with herself inside it, of course, with wildfire. She's just the right kind of nutbag to do it. Seriously, you know it's true. That bitch is crazy. Because I could see her deciding that she'd rather take out everyone than surrender control. But let's stay away from wildfire shenanigans. Dragons consuming her with fire could be more likely if Jaime gets to Winterfell to let them know of Cersei's treachery, and after a heavy loss at Winterfell, Dany decides to just roast the hell out of her. Dany does have a bit of a temper and a love of burning people after all. Okay, so my second crazy thought on the fire consuming the lion statue is that maybe it symbolizes the Lannisters joining the Targaryen side for the battle of ice and fire. Dany and Jon already have 2 Lannisters on their side, Tyrion and pretty much Jaime at this point. So maybe they get a 3rd. There were leaks showing that Jon does end up at King's Landing again, and has a chat with everyone's favorite psycho queen. Why would he be back there? Probably to get her to actually help. And perhaps she does stop being a backstabbing cunt for 2 seconds to join them. If Jon has control of a dragon, I'm not going to stop with that, by the way. He could get down to King's Landing quick to talk with her again, and the fact there are now 2 dragon riders could push her to help or force her to help. Of course, regardless of whether she helps or not, they're going to have to deal with Cersei at some point. There's no way dealing with the White Walkers is the only thing Dany and Jon have to do.
Cersei will die in the end. Now it's just a roll of the die who will actually finish her off. Again, her killing herself would be fitting for her character though. She would go out on her own terms.
The next part of the teaser I want to talk about is how ice and fire met around the middle of the map.
So we see the ice come from the north and fire come up north from the south and meet around the neck. It could just be thematic to have them meet in the middle of the map, but based on a lot of leaks, I just can't leave it at that. Artistic design isn't enough for me, because again, when we see the ice moving south, it covers the dragon and the wolf. I think this is bigger than they are enemies of the White Walkers and will battle them. From all the leaks, we know a huge battle happens at Winterfell that makes the Battle of the Bastards look like a joke. Makes sense as the White Walkers are past the wall and looking to snuff out all life as they march south. They're going to hit Winterfell at some point. With the time jumps they said we'll get in this season, we could see them in the very first episode of the season hit Winterfell. We also saw leaks with Winterfell on fire and tons of dead bodies around it, so that's not good. But reports have been conflicting on whether Winterfell falls or not to the others, but maybe it does. This then pushes Jon and Dany further south to regroup and try again. Or maybe Dany's on Dragonstone, giving birth to Jon's baby. Or is even tapped out of the fight because she is massively pregnant and hanging out on Dragonstone. Them regrouping south after meeting with Cersei to explain how dire things have gotten, and then attacking the White Walkers and their army as they are marching from the north could make sense. Ice and fire finally meet at the neck. Or Jon is the Song of Ice and Fire, the combination of Rhaegar and Lyanna, and the Ice and Fire meet where Reed's home is, who knows Jon's secret as well. Though with Bran, Howland isn't really needed, or maybe it further helps Jon believe. I don't know.
Or it was just a cool teaser and I'm looking way too close into this, which is probably more accurate. But I think we can look at this teaser. Yes, I'm still going on about the teaser. I feel like we can look at the teaser and see that ice and fire are both destructive. Both ice and fire are capable of doing a lot of damage. Look at both sides as they roll over Westeros, destroying everything in their path. It reminds me of a Pyrrhic victory, which may just be a straight victory to the Night King depending on his ultimate goal. But it could also be a warning just like Dany's vision of the Iron Throne. You'll win, but the cost is everything. But of course, that's been set up for a really long time. We know there's going to be some sort of victory at the end of Game of Thrones, but it's going to be mixed in with a lot of bitterness, which I had always thought meant a lot of people are going to die and things will never be the same again. But, you know, the good guys still win. But let's keep talking about the fire and ice meeting at the neck, because something formed there that just has me losing my goddamn mind. So it's very interesting to me that ice and fire meet and form what looks like a dragon glass or obsidian wall at around the neck. Something that has been theorized before. A new, stronger wall is made that can hold the others back is made at the very end of the series. Making it of something that kills them would make sense. And part of me hopes the wall goes through the trident, which also runs through the neck at some point, or actually is formed around where Rhaegar died. Imagine that level of symbolism and try not to scream. I'll try not to scream. If this does happen, that might mean they need a wall because the Night King isn't destroyed in the end. It would be a huge twist to have an ending where they don't actually defeat the others, but end up holding them at bay again through the use of a wall. They don't defeat the threat. They just stall it. But this wall is now down much further in Westeros. They won for now, but they sure as shit lost a lot doing so. Which just makes me sick to my stomach because you know what George has been saying. How history repeats itself. Something so very true in our own world. It just goes around and round. Same BS, just a different day, different people, and different time. If the final season is thousands of years in the future, and somehow they're still where they're at technology-wise, which, why wouldn't they be at the rate they're going? And we see the threat of the others coming back again when people have mostly forgotten about them, just like the last time, I'd probably go insane. Though there is a part of me that loves the idea that no side wins in the end, that they are at a stalemate again. How chilling would it be for the Night King to basically say, or say without saying because some people do not like the idea of him talking, okay, I'll be back. You have fun playing your Game of Thrones for another couple thousand years. I'm immortal. I can wait. You guys will forget again. Which maybe next time there isn't a Jon Snow. There isn't a Targaryen that's obsessed with a prophecy. Maybe the Night King has long enough to figure out how to actually win this time.
Or maybe he keeps expanding his territory more and more, and next time the wall will move further south. The next long night will always be a thing. Maybe next time the side of the living forces the wall up north more, and it's just a constant push and shove.
So those are my current thoughts on the teaser trailer. I'm sure I'm going to have a million other thoughts, and I'm going to make theory videos based off this teaser because I'm also a nut job just like Cersei. So like, subscribe, and let me know in the comment section down below. Do you think they're actually going to build the wall in the final season? The answer is yes. Also, there's a giveaway going on my channel. If you don't know what that giveaway is, watch my Very Merry Targaryen Christmas trailer that was released earlier. Wait, when live dragon fire meets undead or white dragon fire, what does that make? Oh God.